Okay, here we go. As you guys see from the duration time of this video, this is going to be a short episode of ECW because, I don't know, that's just how the matches worked out, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Welcome, this is ECW Week 17, and, well, might as well immediately kick things off here by announcing the main event as always, like what we do for every Universe Mode show. Well, number one contender for the Lightweight Championship, Chris Jericho. He goes 1-1 in non-title action against current ECW champion Minoru Suzuki. Chris Jericho survived the longest of all the other three competitors in the for ECW side in the King of the Ring tournament. We shall see how he does here tonight against Suzuki in non-title action. But anyway, now that kick things off, we got, well, just a little bit of a hype match for the television championship. As we got Johnny Mundo, he takes on the number one contender for the television title. He takes on this man, Wade Barrett. Of course, Barrett won the Battle Royal a couple weeks back, so therefore he has the right to challenge the cleaner Kenny Omega for the ECW Hardcore Television Championship. And we shall see how that may work out. That match will happen at SummerSlam. And so now Barrett kicked things off here against Johnny Mundo. Kicked things off here tonight as well on ECW with this matchup, so that's pretty nice. Afterwards with Mundo and Barrett taking him down with the Samoan drop. Of course, Johnny Mundo, not too long ago, a couple weeks back, he did finish his rivalry matchup. He did finish off his rivalry against Rusev in a steel cage matchup in which Rusev did win. So this is going to be the second week in a row where Rusev and Johnny Mundo are now no longer feuding. Their rivalry is now apparently over. We shall see what happened with Rusev on tonight as we give you your ECW pre-show medal report. As in the pre-show, it was Baron Corbin taking on one half of the BWO. He took on the Blue Meanie, and we also had Raven take on Rusev before ECW started. So all of that happened in medal earlier on tonight. We shall see the reports of that. As later on tonight, we also got current lightweight champion Neville. He takes on, well, the other half of the BWO. He takes on Steven Richards in a non-title contest. We shall see if Richards could be able to pick up a victory. If he does, definitely gotta think if he goes into the rank. He is a lightweight rank, but we shall see if he could, become next in title contention at, of course, before Lionheart Chris Jericho. As Jericho also won a Battle Royal himself to crown a number one contender for the lightweight championship. And we shall see how that works out later on tonight when he takes on Minoru Suzuki. Brain Buster onto the chair. Johnny Mundo's head landing right in the chair. Nice job by Barrett keeping Mundo isolated, making sure he's not doing all the much, high-flying moves that Mundo is usually able to do. Body slam right onto the chair. Johnny Mundo not necessarily best of friends with that steel chair here tonight. And Wade Barrett using that chair to his absolute most advantage here. Mundo holding on to his ribcage for a short second off the ropes. He goes, misses the spin heel kick. Barrett just a little bit far away. A little bit too far away from the connection that Mundo was going to do. And now, ladies and gentlemen, matches that will also happen tonight. Not only including the ones that we announced, also including this one as well. We shall also get Lita taking on Asuka in a rematch. Last week we had Asuka defeat Lita. This week we shall see if Lita could answer back. And now Barrett off the DT onto the steel steps and takes him down. Wastelands. One. Okay, never mind. Only one count. Johnny Mundo kicking out of the wasteland by Wade Barrett. And Barrett not to have, but that he kicked out one especially. Barrett not to have, but that had multiple shots to Johnny Mundo now. Wade Barrett, not a happy camper now. But, of course, he also has to focus on Kenny Omega, the ECW Hardcore Television Champion. Reverse Hurricane Rana, spiking Mundo on his head. Northern Light suplex, nicely done. And Barrett is on a roll here tonight to kick things off on ECW. Well, continuing off with the match, Lita takes on Asuka in a rematch, of course. Neville versus Steven Richards in a non-title contest. Of course, we said earlier. And, well, to see who has more momentum heading into the tag team matchup that's going to happen sooner or later, we have Abyss, one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions. Abyss, he takes on one half of the number one contenders for the ECW Tag Team Championships. He takes on Luke Harper in a pretty much a dream match. And so, Harper and Rowan, they shall challenge for Matt Morgan's and Abyss's ECW Tag Team Championships. sooner or later, probably at SummerSlam, or probably at the go-home show before SummerSlam if ECW is not able to fit in the ECW tag team matchup, the ECW tag title matchup at SummerSlam. Now Barrett with that steel chair, he's been using it a whole lot throughout this matchup, sets it down. He has perhaps trying to set Mundo up as he does with that power slam. Mundo's back landing right on the steel chair. Barrett gonna set it up again here. What is he looking for here? Another power slam onto the steel chair. Goes John Mundo, and now, oh man, on the steel chair as well. The wasteland. 1, 2, and 3. Wade Barrett picks up the victory. Here tonight, getting some much needed momentum against the cleaner Kenny Omega. One of the title matches shall come. And well, ladies and gentlemen, speaking of the cleaner Kenny Omega, Barrett doesn't know as Mundo is out of the ring. Omega, he's inside the ring. And Barrett, he doesn't even notice yet. Omega gaining up on Barrett. Never mind. Barrett finally notices, sends Omega to the outside. The cleaner Kenny Omega, the ECW Hardcore Television Champion, trying to gain an upper hand early. Barrett not gonna fall for it. Barrett saw Omega coming, and Omega's plan for a backstage, well, not a backstage attack, but Omega's plan for an attack here on Barrett, an early attack before SummerSlam, has been unleashed and also has been backfired. Barrett saw whatever Omega was going to try to go for coming, perhaps the V-trigger, perhaps something else, and now Omega, scurrying away, realizes his plan has failed, taunts Wade Barrett one last time, and he exits backstage. Wade Barrett now celebrating on the ring apron. Well, he gets victory over John Mundo, and well, he also chases away the cleaner Kenny Omega here tonight. And well, ladies and gentlemen, we shall also now move on, head over heels off of Finn Balor's King of the Ring performance. He didn't do all that well in the tournament, as he did get eliminated, I believe, in the first round to SmackDown's Kazuchika Okada. And well, ladies and gentlemen, Corey Graves, he shall respond to his rival's failure, I guess, in Graves' words, and that shall happen right now as we go backstage and give it to Corey Graves. Well, ladies and gentlemen, some pretty harsh words by Corey Graves, saying if he was in the King of the Ring tournament to represent ECW specifically, he would have done a way better job than Finn Balor. Well, necessarily, Finn Balor's spot was in the matchup against SmackDown's Kazuchika Okada. We all know how much of a tough competitor Okada is, and while Okada hasn't been doing all that well in universe mode, he did do well in that King of the Ring tournament. And so, therefore, Finn Balor did actually have a tough matchup against Okada that night. Not else to say, the Corey Graves Finn Balor rivalry has not ended yet. And remember, in the beginning of universe mode, one of the first rivalries of ECW, and not the first rivalry we actually did have, was Finn Balor and Braun Strowman, in which Strowman actually did win the whole, well, like every rivalry matchup between him and Balor. And then after that, Finn Balor will later go on to just having a whole bunch of random other matches on ECW, in which where he won absolutely all of them until Corey Graves came. They had their rivalry for the past couple of weeks, and Corey Graves has came out victorious in most of them, except for last week where Balor finally gets a victory over Corey Graves. And we shall see what happens. Finn Balor, we're not sure if we're going to hear from him at all next week. He's not, we do know, and on good news, that he is not here this week, though. Well, anyway, moving on. Lita and Asuka, as you see right there, Lita, figure 4 leg lock, applied right to Asuka. Well, these two women, they did face off against each other last week, in which we had Asuka defeat Lita. And now Lita looks to gain some revenge, looks to win the rematch against Asuka here tonight. Wearing down the legs of Asuka is Lita. She's had the upper hand for most of this matchup so far. This is still the early going, the early process of this matchup. And Asuka takes down Lita with the body slam right onto the bell, and now wearing down the back with a submission maneuver. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, you got to thank whoever wins this matchup. Once again, gets a higher ranking and to see who challenges for the ECW Women's Championship that Sonya Deville does hold. Speaking of which, we shall hear from Sonya Deville later on tonight, and we shall also get her in action next week in non-title action as well. Now let's say going back, focusing on these two Pacific women of ECW, Lita and Asuka, both of which definitely do want ECW women's title opportunities against current champion Neville. So this will be a nice rank-up matchup. Asuka won last week. We shall see if Lita can win this week. And now Asuka with the bell, not able to use it. Lita takes her down, plunger. Asuka's head, the back of her head, bouncing off the ring apron. Can that be the turn point in this matchup? And yes, it is, as Asuka taps out to a half-leg crab. And Lita picks up victory. Asuka's head bouncing off the back of that ring apron. That definitely was the whole game changer of the matchup. Lita walks out victorious here tonight in a somewhat quick matchup here on ECW. Well, there you go. Moving on to your next contest now. That was semi-quick. Neville takes on this man, the other half of the Blue World Order, BWO, Steven Richards, Stevie Ray. What do you want to call him? Well, not. It's Stevie Richards, right? Yeah, it's Stevie Richards. That's Stevie Ray. Stevie Richards, Steven Richards, what do you want to say? And well, this man, Neville, current lightweight champion, he defends his title against Chris Jericho. Perhaps at SummerSlam, or it could also happen in the go-home show of ECW. Every title match that's not able to happen at SummerSlam for both Raw, ECW, and SmackDown will happen on their respective go-home shows. So ECW, we could perhaps have the lightweight title, the women's title, or the tag team titles being in the go-home show. But we do have on good notes and on good authority, ECW confirmed the matches so far has been the ECW Championship matchup. Minoru Suzuki defends against Braun Strowman in Strowman's rematch clause. And also, well, Hardcore Television Champion Kenny Omega, of course, defends his championship, respectively, against number one contender Wade Barrett. I see right there, Neville bicycle kick to the back head of Steven Richards, and now takes him down, just launching himself with a chair. A mini red arrow off the ring apron, looking for another one. Steven Richards gets back up, though. And, well, ECW Neville taking Steven Richards to the extreme powerbomb. Northern Lights into the ring goes Steven Richards. That's usually a sell before Neville's red arrow. I don't think he wants to in the ring. Another powerbomb into a Northern Lights. And Steven Richards now, he immediately gets back up. He's just not going to sell it here. Neville bringing the Extreme in Extreme Championship Wrestling. That's the name of the brand, which is why every match in ECW is a hardcore match. You don't get every match on Raw and SmackDown being a hardcore match. If anything, you mostly get them being one-on-one matches. Here, you see good old-fashioned hardcore style between the lightweights of ECW. You don't see some good old-fashioned hardcore style between the X Divisionists of Raw or the Cruiserweights of SmackDown. And now Neville takes him down, that leaping leaping Bulldog, and Neville on the top of the ropes to the outside he goes. Red arrow connects onto Steven Richards, and it is all over. Stevie is done. And well, ladies and gentlemen, Neville walks out here tonight the victor. No surprise. Lightweight champion having an impressive performance and showing here tonight. In the third matchup of ECW, as we now move on over to, well, immediately your fourth matchup. Well, we're already halfway through it. Surprisingly, this is what I mean. Quick episode of ECW. But, of course, next week, like we said earlier, Sonya Deville, the ECW Women's Champion, she shall, I don't know why I said that. She shall be in action next week. And, well, ladies and gentlemen, along with what shall happen in next week's episode of Raw, once again, since week 13, AJ Styles non-title open challenge, it continues once more. The only people to actually defeat Styles have been CM Punk and Sami Zayn. We'll go more on that later on. And Dolph Ziggler takes on John Cena in the main event of SmackDown, which is going to be the next episode of Universe Meld. That shall be good as well, all of which will happen on Universe Meld. Raw week 18 has Styles in our non-title open challenge. Only people to defeat him have been first CM Punk, now Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn came up short in the King of the Ring tournament, but we shall see what happens at SummerSlam, because, well, he gets a guaranteed title opportunity now because it's been CM Punk and Sami Zayn who have defeated him. So therefore, since they defeat Styles in non-title action, they get a title match against him, which is most likely going to happen at SummerSlam. But the question remains, who will it be? Will it be Styles versus Zayn, Styles versus Punk, or Styles versus both men? And also, if whoever answers the open challenge up next also wins, it could perhaps even turn into a fatal four-way. We shall see what happens there. Now, let's just say, moving on, as well. Our backstage crew, they shall give you the report of when we interviewed son Neville a couple months ago backstage. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Some pretty nice choice words by current ECW Women's Champion son Neville. We shall see what happens next week when she faces off against Velvet Sky in non-title action. But not as I say, going back to the present, or I guess the past, for what happened earlier on. The ECW pre-show once again wishes medal. And well, what happened earlier, we shall get the reports about. First matchup, we had the Blue Meanie, the other half of the BWO. Previously, a couple times ago, we saw his tag team partner Steven Richards lose in quick, orderly fashion. And, well, to lightweight champion Neville, no, absolutely destroyed him using the classic ECW Extreme environment. But not to say Blue Meanie, he most likely got even more destroyed by this man right here, Baron Corbin, first ever ECW champion of numerous mode. Did Corbin pick up a victory against the BWO's Blue Meanie or not? Most likely so, in which he did. So that was the first matchup of the pre-show. And well, also what happened earlier on the main event of the ECW Metal pre-show, we saw Rusev. He previously defeated Giant Mundo in their rivalry end-off matchup in a steel cage, previously in the main event of ECW Week 16, I believe. And so he took on Raven, not the secondary ECW champion. I can't remember. Was it Raven? No, it was Raven, the first-ever ECW champion. The first-ever ECW challenger was Baron Corbin. Not to say Raven, he picked up victory against Rusev. Baron Corbin, Raven was the first-ever ECW champion, I believe. Yes. Yes, I can't remember. Raven, first-ever ECW champion. Baron Corbin, the second-ever ECW champion. And then Minoru Suzuki, the third-ever ECW champion, and now still the current ECW champion. And we could have a fourth-ever ECW champion in Braun Strowman, but we shall see what happens at SummerSlam. Now, as I said, this matchup could happen in the go-home show in Week 20 of ECW, or it could happen in the SummerSlam pay-per-view. We shall see as more matches progress further for Raw, ECW, and SmackDown, all three brands respectively. But well, the tag team matchup could happen on SummerSlam, or it could happen in the go-home show of ECW. Now, as I said, we get a little preview right here. Right now, Abyss, one half of the ECW Tag Team Champions, takes on the other half of the tag team contenders, being Luke Harper. Pretty much a dream match right here. See right there, the strength of Abyss to be able to lift up a humongous man the size of Luke Harper for that body slam. And now Harper off the ropes he goes, nails the clothesline right to Abyss. Abyss trying to shove him out the way. Not gonna work out. Abyss using his thumbtacks to his advantage. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Abyss always walks out with that bag of thumbtacks, and now it's on the floor, and there goes Harper, just barely on the skin of his teeth, by the skin of his teeth, avoiding those thumbtacks, and his back landing straight on those thumbtacks. And well, luckily enough for Abyss, there was also a ring, the ring array. Surprisingly enough, the ECW crew, while we were announcing on segments, blah blah, stuff like that, they were able to put in another bag of thumbtacks in the ring, probably specifically for Abyss, along with a sign and a beer bottle and multiple more weapons scattered throughout the outside of the ring. And now Harper seated powerbomb onto Abyss. I think Abyss must have caught some of those thumbtacks. Snapmare now by Harper, and it's Luke Harper with the upper hand here against Abyss. Very, very surprising. But then again, it's really surprising to even see Luke Harper be on the upper hand of losing a matchup, and also Abyss on the upper hand of losing a matchup. And well, Abyss and Matt Morgan, they are the longest reigning champions of numerous mode. They are the ECW Tag Team Champions, and they've been holding those ECW Tag Titles since Week 1. The team that they defeated in ECW Week 1, no other than the team that they're going to defend it against once again, Luke Harper and Eric Rowan. Luke Harper and Eric Rowan took on Abyss and Matt Morgan in the first ever matchup, and in the first ever episode of ECW. And it was for those vacant Tag Team Championships. The winners were Abyss and Matt Morgan. We could have had Harper and Rowan as the first ever champions, but no. Harper and Rowan, Narrow State, they get another opportunity at those ECW Tag Team Championships. Finally, it just took them a couple more weeks, a little over 10 weeks, but they finally get, and they'll perhaps get at SummerSlam or at Week 20 of ECW, and Harper just a dominator right onto the knee, and Abyss with the headbutt. Off the ropes goes Abyss, very slow, but nails the spear either way. Abyss, such a big man of his size, definitely cannot run all that fast, but hey, he does. What he lacks in speed and agility, he makes up for equally in strength and just brute force, but then again, so does Harper. But Harper, more agile, more faster than Abyss is, as Harper, with that sidewalk slam out of nowhere, 1, 2, and easy victory, never mind. Abyss kicks out, and Abyss has him up, never mind. Harper with the amazing counter of her Karana into a pin, only a 2 count for Luke Harper. And now Abyss just spears him down, countering the clothesline. Ladies and gentlemen, of course, main event, which is up next. Minoru Suzuki, your ECW champion, takes on #1 contender for the lightweight championship, Lionheart Chris Jericho. That's the main event of ECW, and it is here tonight. Non-title contest, of course, as we see a third bag of thumbtacks that Luke Harper has, 2 in the ring, 1 on the outside is in Harper's hand. Now Harper with that table set up right in front of Abyss and himself. Harper, bad intentions here with the thumbtacks as well. Sidewalk slam. Abyss surprisingly doesn't break the table. Harper goes for it again. 3rd time is a charm. 3rd sidewalk slam in this matchup. 3rd time is a charm. And that is it. Luke Harper picks up a victory here tonight against Abyss, walking away with 1 of those bag of thumbtacks. Since there's 2 other in the ring, I guess Abyss could just keep 1 of those. But hey, Harper walking away with 1 of them, mocking the monster Abyss. He picks up a victory. And more momentum for Luke Harper and their growing tag team ahead of time before the tag team matchup against Abyss and the Blueprint, Matt Morgan. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, main event time. Main event of the evening here tonight on ECW. Lionheart, Y2J, Chris Jericho. He did the best of the fellow 3 competitors in the ECW side of things in the King of the Ring tournament. He did better than Finn Balor, Raven, and Baron Corbin, as Corbin got eliminated in the semifinals, and Balor got eliminated in the quarterfinals against SmackDown's Kishisuke Kai. Corbin got eliminated by SmackDown's Samoa Joe in the semifinals, and Raven, he lost to King of the Ring winner. He lost to King of the Ring winner and SmackDown's Cesaro in the quarterfinals as well. So notice all of ECW getting eliminated by SmackDown, and Chris Jericho, he did defeat Raw's The Miz in a count-out victory in the quarterfinals. He later then won a matchup in the semifinals against I can't remember who. And then in the finals, it was a triple threat, as it was going to end up being. But it wasn't between Raw, ECW, and SmackDown. It was between 2 of SmackDown and 1 of ECW. The one last remaining competitor of ECW being Lionheart Chris Jericho. And well, it was also SmackDown's Samoa Joe and Cesaro, which luckily enough for Jericho were past rivals, renewing the rivalry once again as they did in Money in the Bank a couple weeks back in the Bound for pay-per-view. And Suzuki on the wheelchair runs over Jericho. Jericho kicks him down at the same time. That's very, very unique offense by ECW champion Minoru Suzuki into a pin, 1, 2, and a very close 2 count. Jericho now going to try to go for a pin after he just momentarily knocks down Suzuki. He only gets a 1 count, as intended, of course. And Jericho, well, just escaping the power driver attempt by Suzuki, was going to go through either the wheelchair and steel chair, or both as well. And Jericho now upper hand here, using the steel chair to his advantage into a pin, 1, only a 1 count. And well, Jericho, he did well in the King of the Ring tournament. Notice all of ECW superstars got eliminated by SmackDown. For example, Barrett got eliminated by Okada, Raven got eliminated by Cesaro, Baron Corbin got eliminated by Samoa Joe, all of which include in quarterfinals and semifinals, of course. And in the finals, Jericho got eliminated by Cesaro of SmackDown. Samoa Joe came up short of winning, as he was the one who I believe delivered a super kick to Jericho. Then after that, Samoa Joe walking away into the ring, well, was going to go inside the ring to perhaps get a weapon in the ring, until once he turns around, he realized that Cesaro pins Jericho, and Samoa Joe, making a very idiotic mistake, looking like an idiot, didn't go for a pin after he did the super kick that sent Jericho flying as well. So that's how Cesaro got the victory. We could have most likely had Samoa Joe as King of the Ring winner, but not to say it's still a SmackDown superstar at the end of the day, who gets the main event SummerSlam for SmackDown side against World Heavyweight Champion Aleister Black, or depending if Ziggler is to win ahead of time before SummerSlam, Dolph Ziggler, or against both competitors. We shall see. But then get moving on back here in ECW. Jericho now wearing down Suzuki. The back suplex takes him down. Now that slight moonsault right there, and Suzuki gets driven right into a steel guardrail. Mini gets up at that, shrugging that off. And now Jericho playing the Fozzy song here. Not able to do that just in time though. Jericho thinking of playing the Fozzy song right there. But now we do it. Suzuki just gonna ruin the whole party here. And Jericho busted wide open. Suzuki missed the hockey stick shot. Jericho takes him down with a backbreaker. Time to the crowd is Chris Jericho and Lionheart. Chris Jericho now upper hand here. He got shoved down by Suzuki. Never mind. And Suzuki, what a headbutt to the back of the head, making the front of the head drain more blood. That was unique offense by Suzuki. Has him up. Power driver right through the steel steps. Jericho, it's like his head was a spring, and he sprang back up from the steel steps. May I remind you, the gotcha style power driver or a regular power driver, one of those two, that Suzuki did put away Braun Strowman, and it was through the steel steps. It was on top of the broken steel steps because Suzuki did it multiple times to Strowman. And that was back at the Sin pay-per-view back in week 13. And so Suzuki, that's how he got victory against Strowman. And not to mention Braun Strowman's first ever loss in ECW as well. So that was definitely impressive. Now Suzuki has him up, brainbuster onto the concrete, catching part of the stretcher. And Jericho now trying to fight back here. That chop to the chest. Chris Jericho has him, never mind. He doesn't have him. As Suzuki counters with a low thrust press. Nice main event here so far in ECW. Gotcha style power driver onto the announcer's table. Jericho springs back up again. Chris Jericho he doesn't feel pain. Jericho not being affected at all by any of these moves. That snap suplex to Suzuki takes him through the ring, and there goes Jericho. Well, not the ring, takes him through the announce table. Suzuki now on top, knee drop off of the headbutt that took Jericho off the ring apron with a nasty landing. And now has him trying to go for a gotcha style power driver. Jericho takes him down. Just a frontward full Nelson facebuster. Jericho into the pin. Suzuki's head hitting the concrete, and Chris Jericho gets the victory. Jericho picks up the victory, and now Jericho he's walking away. Suzuki's following Jericho. Jericho running all the way backstage. Suzuki, major upset by Chris Jericho. He pinned the champion in a non-contest. Jericho now backstage. Suzuki following him. Chris Jericho sees Suzuki, taunts him, and Jericho running all the way, and he just ran out of the arena. And Suzuki turns around, and it's Braun Strowman. So much action here. And Strowman, he gets headbutted. I'm still trying to get over what has happened a couple seconds ago. Suzuki got pinned by Jericho, and now he's beating up Braun Strowman. Jericho just ran out of the arena. That's how scared he was of Suzuki. And now Suzuki just saw Strowman from the corner of his eye trying to attack him. And Suzuki gonna send a message, power driver onto the chair. Strowman's attack has failed. Surprisingly, the Monster Among Men getting manhandled. The only person to ever actually manhandle him has been Suzuki on 2 occasions. Their Sin pay-per-view matchup, and now here in this attack, gotcha style power driver onto the chair. Suzuki walking away. He may have just got pinned by number 1 contender for the lightweight championship, Chris Jericho. He drinks the beer, then just throws it away towards Braun Strowman, walks away. That's it for ECW. Jericho major upset over Suzuki. Suzuki's head bouncing off the concrete there. Suzuki not able to retaliate and kick out in time, but he immediately sprang back up after a 3 count in complete and utterly shock. And then Suzuki chases Jericho backstage. Jericho does not want to die ahead of his lightweight title bout against Neville. For now, that shall happen. And then Jericho just ran outside. Just ran out the arena. Ran out from the backstage area. And then, shortly after, immediately after, Suzuki just stops chasing Jericho from the corner of his eye. Strowman tries to attack Suzuki. And then Suzuki retaliates with multiple power drivers and a gotcha style power driver onto the chair for good measure, onto the Monster Among Men. Ladies and gentlemen, a whole lot of action to just take in moments ago. Not to say that will end off this episode of ECW. Thank you all for watching. This is definitely one of the more this is definitely one of my more favorite episodes I've done of ECW. And so, thank you all for watching. And catch you on the next one. Goodbye.